Okay, we have gathered here today at this very special day to commemorate the life and death of Frederick Horn. He died on Monday, February 5th, 2024, and was adopted on September 30th, 2021. He was about 2.5 years old and a very precious friend to us who lived under the TV in a tank full of love. This is Frederick Horn. I'm going to invite Fred's mother to come and speak and tell us about his life and how he came into this family. Melanie is going to be speaking. Come on, Melanie.
Thank you for coming to hear about the life of Fred. The day I got Fred was actually the anniversary of our church, and they were having a party, and they had like this booth thing where you had to throw the ping pong ball to see if you get a fish. And my beloved friend Hayden got me a fish because her mom didn't let her have one. So she gave me Fred. And that is the day that I adopted Fred. So one day, well, every day I woke up and I looked at Fred in his tiny little tank. He was only like this big, which is like an inch. And he was like the best. And I always looked at him every morning. Every morning he was the first thing that I looked at. But one morning I looked up and he was gone. And he was like gone. I looked up and I was like, Fred? I think I actually said it out loud. I was like, where's Fred? And I went up and I was like, where did he go? He didn't just disappear, right? So I was like running around telling everybody, asking them where Fred went. And I was like almost crying. And then I walked by and I like looked down by the cabinet or something. And I saw this little orange thing stuck in like the side of the thing. And I was like, he's dead. So I grabbed him and he actually like moved. And I was like, woohoo, he's alive.
And that was the first time he almost died. Can you tell us about the second and third time he almost died?
Yeah. So we were going on a summer trip for like a really long time. So we asked our neighbor to take care of him, to feed him and stuff. But she didn't know that it was bad for the tank to be dirty. So the tank got really dirty because, you know, fish, especially goldfish, like Fred, make the tank get very messy really fast. So we were gone for a really long time. So it got really dirty and he started getting weird red spots all over his body. And I think it was pneumonia. And when we came back, he even had black spots all over him too. And so we cleaned the tank and he started to get better, but he was looking very sick and white. He did turn white, actually. That is also the day that he turned white. You can see he's white here. Yeah. So after about a year or so, the next Christmas after that, I got a big tank and we decided to put it under the TV over there. And so then he had a bigger tank and he would live better. But then after about a year or so of having him under that, he somehow started to get sick and he wasn't eating as much and he was like just floating around, just like sitting there being sad. And he started having like skin falling off of him. It was really weird. It was like he had these weird white things just coming off of him, and it looked like he was falling apart. So actually one time I cleaned his tank out because I thought that was the reason. And so he was like really sick, he was like dying. And then he didn't die that time, so we were happy about that, and he got better. And then it happened again after like 2 weeks or something. And then that time I was at school, and my mom was telling me when I came back that Fred had sadly passed away. Thank you for listening to my stories about Fred. Frederick was a very wonderful child to me. Thank you.
Thank you for being here to support us in this sad moment. I was never very close to Fred in the first year, as after he first jumped out of his tank, I decided that my goldfish I had got from the same place needed a friend. So, without Melanie knowing, I had put my fish in Fred's tank, which a few days later, Fred had ate him. But after the first time Fred had gotten sick and had a big red spot on his head, he became really close with me. I began to love him like a brother. So, we grew together, and every once in a while I would feed him, and he would swim around and just lift up his head to the top of the tank and say hello and eat his food. He would move his rocks around, making a nice little hilly landscape in his tank. It was beautiful and gross, but it was precious at the same time. So the doctor said that maybe it was the radiation from the TV. I've been watching TV too much. He liked TV a lot. So that was Fred in my experience with Fred, who was very close. Now, our mother is going to come up and speak about Fred.
I was very hesitant to allow Fred to be a part of our family. I didn't want any more children. But when I saw how happy he was with Melanie and how they were so connected, I accepted him as one of our own. He brought so much happiness and joy. He had the biggest personality I've ever seen in a fish. He would get so excited anytime I came around, and he would dance in the tank like no other when I was about to feed him. He always put a smile on my face when I was watching TV and I was able to watch him swim around at the same time, back and forth, and back and forth. And just, it is a deep, deep loss for our family. He grew so big. I'm just, he loved to eat, and he's going to be missed in our family. And I don't think we could ever replace him. Bye, Fred.
Now, a few words from some friends who loved Fred too.
Hi, my name is Lulu Padilla, and this is Evie Padilla. We're both really, really good friends of Fred. We're good friends of Fred. But, the point, I just want to say, I loved how fat he was, and his pale complexion was just so amazing.
I don't think I could ever eat sushi again.
I know. And what was I gonna say?
Oh, come on, it's Fred.
I just can't remember. All the tears are blocking my memory. Oh yeah, when he sucked up those pebbles and then threw them at me. It meant so much. He was a warrior at heart.
Fighter. He couldn't barely move.
The way he jumped out of the tank and was lost for 3 days straight.
I didn't even know about that.
And was found 3 days later. And survived. And then he just died. This is a while later.
Now is the time of the ceremony where we will bury Fred. But first, we must seal him in this box forever. But where's the tape? Melanie, will you do the honors?
Yes.
Dad, will you please accompany us out to the gravesite? Melanie, you may walk with Fred. A moment of silence as we walk back. as we walk back. You will be missed. It is appointed that a fish will die, and then comes judgment. And we know he was a good fish, and he loved Jesus. He heard Mike Winger sermons on the TV a lot, so we know he's saved. Thank you guys for all attending this funeral service. Thank you for speaking. Thank you, Mom and Dad, for allowing us to have this dear fish. You are released. Goodbye. Thank you.